Are you really learning English or just memorizing English words? If you want to improve your speaking skills, but the first thing you do is learning words, then you might never get to the point where you want to be. When I was a high school student, learning words was the main part of my English learning. Thinking back to how I was doing, I wouldn't call it learning. I was just memorizing English words, just like you would memorize chemical symbols, for example. H for hydrogen, C for carbon, something like that. So the question is, do you speak chemistry after learning all these symbols and many other terms? No. Although having knowledge is important, if you learn English the same way you study other subjects like chemistry or history, you cannot be a good speaker. And what about you? Are you really learning English? To improve your speaking, you've got to speak. If you already know a language that's close to English, then you might be able to speak English fluently just by learning words. Or if you're an advanced English learner, maximizing your vocabulary may lead you to the next level quite efficiently. But if you're still struggling with speaking, meaning you have to stop to think for a second before saying something, then let's focus on speaking practice rather than learning new words. I believe many of us already have enough vocabulary to talk about basic stuff. Then what do you need to do? Listen to this sentence. I want you to help me find where my phone was stolen so I can give as much information as I can to the police. I repeat. I want you to help me find where my phone was stolen so I can give as much information as I can to the police. I don't think I used difficult words here, but some of you might not be able to say such phrase, or some of you might even have trouble understanding this phrase, although you know all these words that I used. The problem is, not the vocabulary, you aren't used to the patterns that I used. I used many patterns. Want someone or something to verb, help someone verb, where subject verb, blah blah blah, so subject verb. I used many patterns. When you speak your native language, you're doing the same thing. You're not solving puzzles piece by piece like I want you to. You're just using many patterns that you know to speak fluently, and you never create a brand new sentence that nobody has ever heard. You're just using all these patterns that everyone uses. So to be fluent, you need to master patterns. Instead of focusing on learning words, let's practice the patterns. Okay, the first pattern that I used in the previous sentence was want something or someone to verb. I said, I want you to help me, blah, blah, blah. Here we have the first pattern. I want you to help me. I want you to help me. You want this phrase to come out naturally when you want to mean it, but if you have never really heard of it, or if you haven't really noticed it being used, you're not gonna be able to use this pattern. So let's hear this phrase being used in different contexts so we can have a better idea of what this means and when we can use it. And for that, I strongly recommend using this website called Youglish. I'll show you how to use it. Let's type, I want you to help me here and see how the phrase is used. So this website finds many videos where this pattern, this phrase is used.
I want you to help me determine if this is a female servant or male servant, just based on the number of dramatic words that are about to be used in this paragraph, okay?
By the way, you can find subtitles below, and you don't even have to look up the words by yourself because it's all here if you want to know any definitions. We want to take a look at another example. You click here, and you can watch another video.
I want you to help me die. And as I was standing before her, I said, no. There's a lot of things we can do for you, but that's not one of them. We're going to get you through this.
So like this, listen to some examples until we get the idea of how this phrase is used and try to get what the speaker wants to say, what they feel when they use this phrase.
I want you to help me because you're actually trained in physics, and I'm not.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to help me thank Brian Stewart and Conrad Black for a really wonderful conversation.
So now you know how this phrase is used. I want you to help me. Now repeat the phrase until you can say it fluently. I want you to help me. I want you to help me. I want you to help me. If you can say it fluently, language-wise, you're good now, but it's not done yet. What's very important to make this phrase come out naturally, you have to make this connection between the language and the meaning stronger. So imagine the situation where you'll be using this phrase. Imagine and say it. If it's difficult, just pretend to be the speakers that you found on Youglish and act, thinking about how they feel and say it. And the final step, you want to change part of the sentence, part of that phrase. For example, instead of I want you to help me, you could say I want you to call me, or you could change a bit more. You could say I want her to call me, or even she wanted you to call him. My friend wants this lunch to be memorable. I don't want this party to end. See, I didn't use difficult words here, but I can say many things using this pattern. 1, something or someone. 2, verb. So if you want to be fluent in a language, practice as many patterns as you can. That's it for today. Thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.